From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for The Debate.
Debate at 10, presented by Act FiberNet, powered by Nourish and Amrita University.
Dear viewers, last night we had promised that we will continue with our expose as far as Pakistan harboring terrorists are concerned. Today we come up with another exclusive report. This is about Dawood Ibrahim. His nephew, Sohail Kaskar, has now fled to Pakistan. Like all other terrorists, Pakistan loves to give refuge to terrorists, and this is exactly what has happened once again. But the details that we are picking up, according to Mumbai police intercepts, he was wanted by India and was earlier tried for America for terrorism and also narco-terrorism. But it turns out that he left the United States and currently he is in Pakistan.
Yeah, and he fled via Dubai, Shravan, from the details that we've picked up. Sohail Kaskar is interesting because he was charged with selling missiles, surface-to-air missiles to Colombia to target American planes. It's a very serious charge. And Pakistan is once again under the scanner with this development because they've decided to shield not just Dawood and his gang, but one of the world's most wanted terrorists again.
12th March 1993, a day etched in the memory of every citizen in Mumbai. A day when 13 car bombs led to the biggest terror attack in the country, killing 257 people and injuring 1,400 people. A terror attack that was coordinated by Dawood Ibrahim. For the last 29 years, he has been sheltered by Pakistan. Today, his nephew Sohail Kaskar is in focus. As per sources, Sohail Kaskar, who was arrested by US Drug Enforcement Agency and then let off, has fled to Pakistan via Dubai. The US investigation so far has revealed shocking details of Sohail not just providing support to Colombian rebels in narco-terrorism, but also a dangerous plan to attack US aircraft in Colombia. He, along with 2 Pakistani nationals, were trying to acquire surface-to-air missile systems.
Mumbai police sources say that former police commissioner Subodh Jaiswal as well as the NSA's office had opened channel negotiations with US authorities in 2018 to extradite Sohail Kaskar. Sohail Kaskar was extradited from Spain to the US. As per Mumbai police sources, he was then set free. The recent interception was done by the Mumbai police's property cell, and they believe that the intercept was of Sohail Kaskar.
It is no secret that D-Gang has been trying to keep itself active via extortion and narcotic trade in India. With US investigation revealing a missile trade and Pakistani link, India's case to crush the D-Gang is getting watertight.
Joining us on this debate is Sanju Verma, Major General G.D. Bakshi, Sushant Sareen, Brigadier Harris Nawaz, Omar Altaf and Hamid Khan. Let me start this debate with Altaf, Hamid Khan and Sushant Sareen. Hamid Khan, I promised you last night that I'll get you more hard facts. Now, what I've done this time is, before you again come up with this is fake news, creation of the raw and all of that, I've preempted all those arguments. So let's just quickly go ahead and put out some documents that the United States of America has put out as far as your friend Sohail Kaskar is concerned. And this is what they have to say, that Sohail Kaskar in fact had colluded with Colombian rebels and he was basically trying to acquire a surface-to-air missile to carry out an attack on a US aircraft on Colombian soil. He was extradited from Spain to United States of America, and according to the Mumbai police, he's currently in Pakistan. So Hamid Khan, what do you have to say? You are now becoming the grand home of all terrorists.
I'll tell you. I mean, from starting from a United States report, then you ended up with a Mumbai police report. It is all denying all your facts, what you are saying, in fact. I just want to say one thing, that if it is anything to do with, in America or anything, it has nothing to do with Pakistan. You are trying to make fabricated stories to attach with Pakistan. It is not going to be successful.
How is it fabricated? It's
Ahmed Khan. Because if
Ahmed
Mumbai
Khan,
police
this is a US Department of Justice document that has been accessed by Republic TV. Now, if you want, Ahmed Khan, what I'll do is I'll email it to you also. For your better understanding, what I'll do is Ahmed Khan, send across an email. It's 19 pages. Take your time, Sushant Sareen. Unfortunately, what happens for all our guests coming in from Pakistan, they seem to be completely myopic in their vision. Every time we put out a hard evidence in front of them, they say this is fake news. Sushant Sareen, this time we have put out documents. This is of the US Department of Justice. The arguments were taking place during the extradition of Sohail Kaskar from Spain to United States, when you had Preet Bharara actually arguing in the court that, look here, there was a conspiracy between 3 Pakistani individuals. They had to be extradited from Spain to United States. They had telephonic conversations that were intercepted by the US authorities, not Indian authority. US authorities, that they were trying to acquire surface-to-air missiles to attack an aircraft of the United States. Sushant Sareen, this man today is currently sitting in Pakistan.
These are all accusations.
Yeah, but the problem with the gentleman...
It's the same narrative. I'll show you the documents also. Till the time, let Sushant respond, and I'll come back to you, Hamid, because I want to show you the documents also. I'll show you the documents,
Hamid. So listen, if Mr. Khan has nothing to say, then I don't know what he's doing on the show. If he doesn't want to hear anything, if Mr. Khan does not want to hear anything, he does not have anything to say, then why is he on the show? Number one. Number two, the point which is being made out here is that here is this man who's a convicted criminal. He has already been penalized. Not only was he charge sheeted, he was also in jail. His sentence was apparently over, and he has run away from the US while the extradition proceedings was commencing out there, comes to Dubai, and from there slinks into Pakistan. Why does he go to Pakistan? Because Pakistan has become a safe haven for all kinds of desperados, all kinds of international criminals, all kinds of despicable elements who all go and take refuge in Pakistan. And so whether it's Khalistani terrorists who are there living in Lahore, their addresses have been given to Pakistan innumerable times. There are other Islamic terrorists who have carried out terror attacks in India, gone into Saudi Arabia, when extradition proceedings, or for example, in Bangkok, when extradition proceedings were taking place, the Pakistanis were claiming that this guy is not an Indian, he's a Pakistani. Why would they claim an Indian to be a Pakistani, especially a person who...
for extradition on terrorism charges? And very clearly, his DNA samples, their passports, all other documents proved it. Now, in this particular case, again, because Mahmood Ibrahim is a guy who actually has, at one point of time, along with some other underworld figures like Abid Seth and others, have even funded the Pakistani government. So I can understand, the reluctance. I can understand the diffidence of these guys from Pakistan to deny all of this. But the fact of the matter remains that every single desperado goes and seeks refuge in Pakistan, is then used to carry out terrorism in India, in other countries of the world. And that is what Pakistan thinks gives its leverage. They use these people to carry out all kinds of other smuggling and other activities in the US and in other parts. So there's nothing unusual about what has happened in the Kaskar case. The only thing is that perhaps we should have been a little quicker in trying to ensure that we did not run away from the US, so that we could, commence the extradition proceedings against him.
But you asked a question, Sushant, you asked a question, why do all these people go to Pakistan? You forgot to say the word. His chacha is there in Clifton, Karachi. And a few years back, Sushant, White House, it's a
Pakistani document, Niranjan.
Now, I have a document. Okay, let me read this document out and let me get it. Okay, Hamid Khan, don't speak. Okay, listen, everyone's behaving themselves. Please behave yourself. I'll bring in Brigadier Haris Nawaz and General Bakshi, and then I'll go across to, Sanju Verma as well. I want to show this document. It is a court document. It is a US government document, and I want to read out a few lines from it, and I want you to listen to it. Okay? Jal Bakshi, this document here says, I'm going to read out from it, okay? Sohail Kaskar, Pirzada Khwaja Abdul Hamid Chishti, Pirzada Khwaja Abdul Wahab Chishti, alias. There are 5 or 6 aliases. Transfer, directly and indirectly, receive, possess, import, possess, threaten to use explosive, incendiary rocket, missile guided by a system designed to enable the rocket and missile to seek and proceed. Energy radiated from an aircraft and toward an image locating an aircraft, blah, blah, blah. A device designed and intended to launch and guide a rocket and missile. A part and combination of parts designed and redesigned for use in assembling and fabricating the rocket. Kaskar, Danish, Hamid Chishti, Wahab Chishti from Pakistan agreeing to acquire, transfer surface-to-air missile systems to enable the FARC in Colombia to attack a United States aircraft in Colombia. Now, sir, you have this document. It's a US document. Brigadier Haris Nawaz is laughing. I don't know what you're laughing about, sir. You please Google it. You please Google Sohail Kaskar. You will find, you know, Sohail Kaskar, you will find enough material from America, and we are not saying it. It's there on public record. Jal Bakshi, is there anything that they should be laughing about? Is there anything that the Pakistanis should be laughing about?
I'll tell you why I'm laughing.
You hear him. You give Jal Bakshi 30 seconds to see, give him a minute and then you can respond. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Brigadier Harris. Can I just... Brigadier Harris, we have found that in counter-terrorist campaigns, one very significant milestone is the introduction of surface-to-air missile class of weapons. Don't forget that in Afghanistan, the whole tide against the Soviets was turned when the United States introduced Stinger missiles, shoulder-fired surface-to-air missiles, with which they started bringing down the Hind attack helicopters. And that was a game changer in Afghanistan. The Soviet losses started mounting and they had to finally pull out. Now, if you introduce surface-to-air missiles into the asymmetric conflicts ongoing in South Asia, they can have serious consequences. Surface-to-air missiles can be used to bring down VVIP choppers, aircraft, and also the jet fighters, right, and other attack aircraft, high-value aircraft, high-value targets. This is a serious escalation. Now, here is a man who had escaped from India in 1998, was subsequently, involved. Also, he was involved in the 1993 bomb blasts. He has been involved in a number of other extortion and racket cases. He is one of the chief Hawala operators in South Asia. He is a narcotic smuggler. He is a drugs peddler. He is an arms merchant. Now, you can buy Kalashnikovs as individuals. You can buy pistols as individuals. You can buy even grenades and the other things and give them to terrorist organizations. But the moment you get a guy who is dealing with surface-to-air missiles, guided weapons, that means the government of a country has to be involved. These are not sold to individuals. These are not sold to private organizations. It's only governments which can buy them. So for Pakistan to get this man on their soil, to team up with his Chacha Jan, that is, Dawood Ibrahim, he is a distant nephew. He is a nephew, in fact. So the fact of the matter is you are causing a significant escalation. A significant escalation. We just had the case of the ambush, attempted ambush of our Prime Minister in Punjab. Imagine if he was coming by a helicopter and you introduce these kind of surface-to-air missile wielding terrorists. Sir, you are asking for war. You are asking for an outright conventional conflict. So I do hope you know what you are doing, what your ISI is doing. Please, I would await your response.
Mr. Nab, the point is, he is your national. He was doing smuggling in Colombia. Then he was arrested. He was arrested in Spain. Then USA gave him punishment. Then they set him free after completing his tenure. Then where was you sleeping? And why the hell Pakistan you are blaming? He's not a national. He's not smuggling in Pakistan. He was doing all over there. And then how your police knows, your CBI doesn't know, your RAW doesn't know, and your police incompetent, insufficient police comes to know that they've got a voice heard that they live in Pakistan. For God's sake, nobody boil this Sheikh dramas every time you create it. I think learn to live peacefully with Pakistan. Don't create hype all over the issues. Pakistan's got nothing to do with it. Where did Pakistan come into it? Missiles were USA, Colombia were smuggling. Then he was doing heroin smuggling. Then he was caught in Spain. Then he was punished in America.
Brigadier Harris.
Every intelligence is sleeping. And now you're asking Pakistan, and the police has got a voice. No CBI, no RAW.
What does Pakistan, Brigadier Harris, can I just tell you something?
Lack of resources. Come on, Armab, for God's sake. Don't do this. Don't create hype. No, even public will not buy these dramas. And now they should be also fed up of doing all the time.
Brigadier Harris.
I think speak something substance. Talk.
Brigadier Harris, you said
all irrelevant. He was in Dubai. Dubai didn't catch him. American didn't catch him, and now we have to talk about him. For God's sake.
Brigadier Harris, you said what is the connection to Pakistan? You said what is the connection to Pakistan? Fair enough, you don't want to believe what our agencies are saying. At least would you believe what the United States of America has to? Because they are after all doling out, they doled out a lot of aids to you in the past. You know, you have to go with a begging bowl to the United States of America time and again, but at least believe in their court documents, because according to those court documents, Brigadier Harris, Sohail Kaskar, Ali Danish, Abdul Hamid Chishti, Abdul Wahab Chishti, all four of them are Pakistani nationals.
It is your concern.
They are Pakistani nationals. In fact, Sohail Kaskar was arrested when he was arrested in Spain.
Why did they release him? So it is your inefficiency. And then, of course, he went to Dubai. You are saying then ask Dubai government, why asking Pakistan?
Can't hear you.
Well, as far as the extradition is concerned, remember,
nobody will buy this idea. These all
can I also bring in? Can I bring in Omar Altaf? Because I'm hoping Omar Altaf is a journalist who's, Brigadier Harris, you can go on and deny, keep denying any link that you have with Sohail Kaskar. But the fact of the matter is, Omar Altaf, can I just expect some
don't speak over each other, sir. Wait for your turn.
You are after all a journalist. Brigadier Harris, Omar Altaf, you are a journalist. I'm just hoping that you'll be a little bit more objective than the other Pakistani guests who have joined us. We have put out documents. These are not Indian agency documents. These are not Indian court documents. These are documents of the United States of America. It's of the Department of Justice. They are the ones who are saying that these 4 Pakistani individuals who had to be extradited from Spain, they were conspiring against the United States of America. They were indulging into narco-terrorism. And after convincing the court, they were extradited, brought to United States of America. Today, your country is harboring this terrorist. At least believe in the documents that we have put out, and admit that this is what Sohail Kaskar and his gang was actually doing, conspiring against another country altogether.
I have patiently listened to the conversation so far. Please now let me respond so that I can put some facts before you. You know who Dawood Ibrahim actually is. He is an Indian national. He was a criminal who turned into a terrorist because after the demolition of Babri Masjid, the way Muslims were...
Omar, we don't need Wikipedia. Omar, we don't need a Pakistani Wikipedia here. 1 second. We don't need a Pakistani. No, we don't need a... No, please. We don't need lessons from you on who Dawood Ibrahim is.
You need to hear me out.
No, please. You want to talk about... Don't give us a history. No, we don't want lessons from you about Dawood Ibrahim.
No, you need to learn it.
We don't know. We know who Dawood Ibrahim is. We know who Dawood Ibrahim is, so please stop it, okay?
So
you want to answer the question? I'll give you another chance. Wait. I'll give you another chance. I don't know. Because we are decent, unlike you. Omar, because we are decent, I'll give you another chance.
It's not about
because we are decent, we'll give you another chance. Okay?
You need to let me respond.
Because we are decent, I'll give you another chance. Hear me out. Don't be so scared. Hear me out. No, don't be so scared. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is for you. This is for you. Hear me out. Hear me out. You have the courage, hear me out. You have the courage. You have the courage, hear me out. Hear me out. You have the courage, hear me out. Why are you so scared of a question? Why are you so scared of a question? I'll be decent, I'll ask you a question, I'll give you another chance. I'll be decent. I will be decent. I will ask you a question, I'll give you another chance. I'll be decent. This is an indictment order. This is an indictment order. Okay? Indictment order from an American court. It says, Hamid Chisti and Wahab Chisti attended a meeting in Barcelona, Spain, where they and others discussed, among other things, transportation of heroin from Pakistan to the United States. Okay? These were the two men who were convicted with Sohail Kaskar, Dawood Ibrahim's nephew. Dawood Ibrahim's nephew is also in Pakistan now. Okay? So, you can't deny a Pakistan link. Why are you so desperately trying to deny a Pakistan link? You're a journalist. Please Google. Please Google.
I am not denying anything. I am only talking about his Indian links as well.
What is an Indian link?
Why did Dawood became a terrorist?
Oh God, Sanju Verma will respond to you. God, you know I told you. I don't need to know his Indian link,
yaar. Why did he became a terrorist?
We know his Indian link. We want him back. We wanted him deported from the US. Please, Sanju. Sanju's responding. Sanju's responding.
So you should get him.
Sanju's responding. Hold on.
You should get Dawood.
Niranjan,
I am not saying Dawood is innocent or he is
Don't speak over her. Don't speak over her.
He hasn't killed people. I am not saying Dawood is an innocent person. But you need to understand that India has become so toxic for Muslims.
Omar Altaf, one sec here. Omar Altaf, if you want to come here and just badmouth India, it's not going to work. You know, I told you I'll be decent. I'll give you another chance. Don't. No, 1 second. You want to talk on facts? I gave you another chance. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you speak. I'm not going to let you speak. You want to come here and talk trash about India? I'm sorry. You're not going to get that opportunity. I'm not giving you a platform. Not giving you a platform. Sanju Verma, 1 second. Sanju Verma is responding.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
You know, Niranjan, first and foremost, I think, as they say, acknowledging a problem is solving half the problem. Pakistan has been living under illusion. It refuses to acknowledge the fact that it is the mothership of terror, something that was said a couple of years back so eloquently by the late Sushma Swaraj, and something that has been reinforced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at every single forum, including a couple of months back at the Delhi Dialogue, which was hosted by NSA Ajit Doval, was attended by 5 Central Asian countries and the likes of Russia and Iran. The point is that Pakistan today is desperate because today under Imran Khan, what we are seeing is an enactment of the theater of the absurd. Pakistan's economy is down to barely $200 billion. Indian economy is close to $3 trillion. We are more than 10 times Pakistan's size in terms of sheer size of our absolute GDP. And what I find funny is that these Pakistani panelists, they come here and they start acting I just want to say one thing. Why is it that Pakistan continues to be on the grey list of the Financial Action Task Force?
I can reply.
If you are indeed railing terrorists, if you are indeed clamping down on the likes of, Zakirur Rahman Naqvi, on the likes of Dawood Ibrahim, on the likes of, Zakir Naik, who also have easy passage to Pakistan to and fro, why is it that terror funding is one of the reasons due to which Pakistan continues to be banned by the United Nations Security Council Committee, which has clearly said that apart from Al-Qaeda, if there is another entry which finds pride of place in the new UNSC sanctions list, it is Pakistan-sponsored ISI. Pakistan grey list of the FATF में क्यों है? इतना बता दीजिए.
No, there is a joke. There is a joke. Wait, Hamid. There was actually some. I don't know whether it was serious.
Let me reply.
Chavan, but I have to mention. Wait. I know you can respond. I'll give you a chance to respond. Unlike Pakistanis, we are not. One second. Hold on. I want to bring in Sushant Sareen. Sushant Sareen, I want you to respond to this, and then I'll let Hamid respond. There was an article today, Sushant. Hamid, wait. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. No, you'll get your turn. Calm down. Okay.
Honestly,
now,
there is no
hear my question. See, don't speak over each other. I promise you, I'll give you 30 seconds to speak after Sushant responds, okay? Sushant, what do you make of this joke of this national security policy that Pakistan released? Apparently, they're seeking no hostility with India for 100 years. not ruling out normalization of trade and economic ties. And they are saying they're ready for it even without waiting for a final resolution of Kashmir, provided there is progress in talks. So there is some sort of carrot that they've shown, that they've thrown today, something very interesting. But first I want you to talk about that and what you make of it, and in the wake of the developments in the last few days, whether you can trust Pakistan at all on this codified policy. They're calling it a codified policy.
Look, yeah, Niranjan, I don't trust Pakistan on anything. Forget this policy. This policy is utter nonsense. This is typical Pakistani dissemble. I don't take it seriously. I don't know why people are tilting at the windmills in India over this policy. What does it have which is new or unique? Nothing. It is basically an image polishing exercise. Pakistan is down in the dumps. Their economy is totally gone. Now they keep talking about geoeconomics. What are they going to sell to the world except terrorism, which is the one thing on which they have survived the last 20 years. The Americans and the rest of the West pumping in money. What are they offering to the world? What do they sell to the world? So they have nothing to sell, but they'll keep talking about geoeconomics, trying to become a bridge. Bridge between what? Bridge between Afghanistan and what? Bridge between Central Asia and what? What are they a bridge to? Nothing. Okay, so that is the second. On the India part, look, this is basically the kind of nonsense which they keep spouting. And there is an element in India, the wire type characters who will keep, getting all excited about it. But ask them to go to the next level and ask them that what are going to be the building blocks of this so-called policy. Their own leaders are saying that, well, this is, we have to still put in place a framework for this policy. We still have to figure out how to implement this policy. Now, this is a unique country in which you announce a policy before you figure out how exactly you are going to achieve that policy. And they have absolutely no idea. So this is the kind of nonsense which, people like General Kiani, Musharraf, all these other characters, every time they're in trouble, they come up with this kind of nice sounding phrases that we want good peace with India. Please tell me one thing which they have done which will actually lead you to believe that yes, there can be peace and normalization between India and Pakistan. Now, one thing, not one you can name. On the contrary,
Hamid,
I can name you 500 other things which they have been doing, which tell you that there is absolutely no change in the Pakistani attitude towards India. So frankly, I think it's a waste of time even to read this policy. Forget about taking it seriously.
Okay. Can I reply now?
Hamid,
Sushant
you can.
Sushant?
Hamid, you can reply on 2 counts. On 2 counts, Hamid, you give us a specific response. We have shown you documents from the United States. The US congressional report essentially suggests that you are harboring at least 12 terrorist organizations. Sushant Sareen has pointed out about the so-called damn squib of yours, the policy that you're essentially talking about, Hamid. Despite the kind of hard evidence that is shown to you night after night, you simply seem to refuse that. Why?
No, I'll tell you. Shravan, the thing is, whatever economy boasting you are talking, and I always say that if this is the situation with your economy, and if our economy is that bad, then why all Indian legs are shaking while we talk about Pakistan and with the fear of Pakistan?
Shaking? What is shaking?
Second thing
Who's
is
shaking? Sorry,
that
what?
if I mean, when you talk about Pakistan, if 10 times our economy is weakening, then why Indian legs are shaking against
our
Pakistan?
Legs are shaking? Are you? I mean,
yes.
What are you
I'm telling you the truth. I'll
sorry,
tell you
one second.
With American documents, with American documents, with American documents. You are insulting.
No, you calm down.
You are actually insulting.
No, you calm down.
You insulting.
No, you calm down. No, please.
You are actually insulting American CIA. You are actually insulting American CIA by
No, you're insulting your own. You're insulting. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. Hamid. I'll WhatsApp. Let me do one thing. I'll ask my team to WhatsApp you this court indictment.
Please.
Do you know what an indictment order means?
I'll tell you.
No, do you know the meaning of indictment order?
I know the meaning of indictment order.
You know the meaning of indictment order. This is not. This is a US court.
I know.
Okay, this is an indictment order.
Even US
No, please. Now, there's a little bit of seriousness. When you're on the debate, please don't make frivolous statements. You don't know the story. You haven't gone through the order. You just come here to just, you know, rant about India. General Bakshi, last word to General Bakshi. No, calm down. Calm down. No, please. Enough. I've given you your chance.
Can I please?
You lost it. General Bakshi. No, you lost it. General Bakshi.
No, you
taking in your boots.
If you want
can I please?
Yeah, General Bakshi, please.
Thank you. You know, firstly about that Farecial document, I haven't heard of a prospective policy planning document that spans a time horizon of 100 years. You know, the world can change drastically in 100 years. The maximum I have seen is 5-year plans, 10-year plans and 15 years perspective plans. This is the first time I have seen a 100 years perspective plan. Number one. Number two, it says there will be no conflict with India. Of course, Pakistan is in no position to fight a conventional war with India. It had realized that as far back as the 71 war. The lesson was again reiterated in Kargil. Excuse me. Can I please finish, Harris? Harris, can I please finish? Like officers and gentlemen, we don't talk over one another. Thank you. So the next part is that it is focusing primarily on asymmetric conflicts against India. So it is a very Farecial policy document which says that for 100 years there will be no war. We will continue waging our asymmetric war in Kashmir and now trying to push it into the Punjab. So this is a Farecial policy document. Apropos the issue of how are you involving Pakistan with this Sohail case, the simple fact is, read that court indictment. There were 2 Pakistanis and this fellow Sohail who were involved in getting heroin from Pakistan, smuggling it into the United States. They were also involved in trying to procure surface-to-air missiles to down American aircraft. He got a stiff prison sentence. We had asked for his extradition. How are we aware that he is in Pakistan? There is signal intelligence. No. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, you are aware of SIGINT? I mean, I'm talking to a soldier. You are aware of SIGINT? And that is how he has been tracked and traced to your place. Please, if you want to say anything on that now, we would be happy to hear. We have established the Pakistan connection for you. Dawood Ibrahim is India's enemy number 1. He is what Osama bin Laden was to the United States, and he has been ensconced in Pakistan for over almost close to 3 decades.
Now, give me 2 minutes to speak out, sir. The point is, in Dawood Ibrahim or it is Sohail Kasgar, they are Indian nationals. India should be worried about it. Second, if it was while trying to smuggle missiles to Colombia to down some USA plane, then why did the Americans, they set him free? Why didn't they charge him? And how did you come to know that he is all these things carrying out in Pakistan? Because your police heard a voice message. But neither CIA, nor your CBI, nor your RAW, they don't know. And suddenly then ask American why did they let him go out of America? And then why Dubai sent him to Pakistan? Ask those countries, you have no guts and courage to ask them, you have talk about Pakistan. He is not in Pakistan. Pakistan got nothing to do with it. It is Indian national. You have to arrest him. You should have told the American government.
Land denials is something we get a dime a dozen from Pakistan.
He should be arrested.
Land denials. Osama bin Laden was never in Abbottabad. No, for God's sake, damn it. Dash it.
General Bakshi, because we're running out of time. General Bakshi, we'll take this forward. General Bakshi, I think tomorrow there's going to be another India-Pakistan. I suspect that there's going to be some drama tomorrow in Pakistan. We are hearing that Pakistan is going to do some drama tomorrow regarding this, so-called policy that they're discussing. So we may meet again tomorrow. So thank you for that. And finally, Shawan.